Hey, I think everyone out there already knows I live in the Pacific Northwest. And here in the Pacific Northwest, we have a lot of one thing. Well, a lot of two things. We have a lot of Bigfoots, and we have a lot of, the granola crunching, sandal wearing hippies. And because of that, I have quite a few friends that are of that ilk. Not Bigfoots, the hippies I'm talking about. And one of those hippies contacted me, although he would object to being called a hippie. He would say, I'm not a hippie. He called me and said, I'm getting my carry permit. I would like you to help me pick out a gun that I could carry with me. And I was like, okay, that's odd. And you'd never really shown much interest in guns before. I thought to myself, I was like, he's never really wanted to go to the range much. I think he's been with me once or twice. So I was like, okay, I don't know what changed your mind, but come on over. Never say no to someone who wants to get into guns, especially someone who wants to carry. So he comes over. Turns out he had a run-in, him and a friend, with one of our, let's say, less savory members of society. And that run-in made him decide that he was woefully unprepared to deal with such things, woefully unprepared to defend himself and his family and his friends. So he wanted to get an equalizer, a firearm, which is what I always tell people. Firearms are the great equalizer. They make little grannies not be victims anymore. So he came over. I let him go through all the guns I have, different calibers, sizes, manual of arms, and see what he thought he'd like to try. And he ended up picking out 3 guns he'd like to try. The first one was the 938, the Sig Sauer 938, which surprised me a little bit because it's a single action only with a very light trigger, but he wanted to try that. The next one was a car, a little bit bigger gun, but it's still small because he wants to be able to carry it on his bike. The hippies love their bikes. The taller, the better. They love the really tall bikes too. So he chose the car. The third gun he chose he wanted to shoot is one that I was happy to see him choose, which was the Chiappa Rhino Snubnose. I thought that'd be a great gun to carry, just in case he didn't want to always wear a skirt. So we tried that. So we had 3 guns ready to go try, and then we just got our day started. All right, here is one of my liberal hippie friends from Portland.
Not liberal,
Tim.
not a hippie.
Yeah, liberal hippie friends. He's one of those guys that rides his bike to work all the time.
I do ride my bike.
He brews his own beer. And
I made kombucha one time.
And he's got like a bunch of hippie friends who
yell at me
on Facebook all the time. And he has decided he wants to get a carry permit. So it's really dark right here right now. But try not to get any glare. He's going to go try a few different guns and see how he likes them. And he's going to see if one of those might be something he wants to carry. Because we always say, everyone's a liberal till they get mugged.
Not liberal.
Don't listen to him. He's very, very liberal.
I'm a bleeding heart moderate. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Bleeding heart moderate. All right, let's get to the range. All right, we're headed down to the range area. Now, after we went through a little bit of basic training, which he'd had before because he'd been to the range with me before, we did a little refresher on safety, and then we started shooting. The first gun he shot was the smallest one, the Sig Sauer 938. Okay, after he put a few mags through the 938, it was time to move on to the next gun. So the next gun was the Car K9. Did you pull it back and cock it?
I did not, did I?
Yeah, helps to rack the slide. Same thing with the car. He put a few magazines through it. Then it was time to move up to a real gun, the Chiappa Rhino. But I didn't want to kick him into manhood fully right off the bat, so we're going to shoot 38s in it. All right, now he's going to try a real gun, a revolver.
This will be the one that makes me...
Now, if you want to cock it for the first round, you can, or you can just use the double action.
I'll do the double action.
All right, get out of his way. All right, he's going to shoot a real man's gun, but it's only got 38s in it, so it's sort of manly. They're still swinging. How do you do something about that swinging? I got to change those chains a little shorter. Okay, after he put some rounds through the Chiappa Rhino, even some 357 Magnum there at the end, he decided he liked the semi-autos better. So we went back to the semi-autos and he tried each of those again. First, the 938. Oh, the joy of loading magazines in cold weather. Because what is it out here right now? What's the temperature?
It must be like in the mid-30s, if I had to guess.
It's probably 31. And then, once again, the car K9. Remember, push and pull. Well, after shooting both of the semi-autos again, he was clearly more interested in the SIG P938. He asked a lot of questions about the SIG. He was trying to get himself comfortable with the mechanics of the SIG. So that was what he was really leaning towards. What were you asking?
When I actually like rack it, that cocks the
hammer, and then you would just put the safety on and carry it.
I don't like the concept of carrying chambered. I know there's a lot of different opinions on that. Or
You'll get over that.
Not so much, but
pretty soon, if you like this gun, you know, before you know it, you'll be carrying that thing cocked and locked. You won't always be a girl. No matter what Laura tells you.
What if I want to be a girl?
Yeah, well,
that's what she married.
See, you've been telling us she makes you be the girl. You didn't know. You didn't tell us it was voluntary. I don't think you racked it properly. Try it again.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
There's a safety on it, you idiot.
No, his hammer wouldn't be falling if safety was on. Works better with the magazine in. So at the end of the day, he really liked the SIG 938. Even though he knows he's going to have to get used to that cocked and locked thing, I told him that will come with time. You'll get used to it. If you shoot this gun better, you're comfortable with this gun, you like this gun, then there's definitely nothing wrong with this gun. This is the gun you should choose. And since he is a guy who I've known for a very long time, since we've been in Portland. His wife has just started a business, and, you know, he's one of those granola hippies, so you know what he does with all his money. So they didn't want to spend a ton of money on a new gun. And I understand that. Times are a little tight, especially when you're just starting a new business like his wife is. So I thought, well, you know what? I don't shoot this gun. This 938, don't shoot it, don't carry it, don't do anything with it. So I'm going to go ahead and give him this gun. He doesn't know that yet. He'll find out at my birthday dinner in a few nights. I think it's, 6 days from now, my birthday? This is the 1st, I think. Or is this the 30th? I forget what day this is. But at my birthday dinner, I'm just going to go ahead and tell him he can have this, and we'll go to an FFL and transfer it over to him. And that's one thing I want to say to other people out there, too. I get people all the time saying, you know, I've got an extra gun. Would you like it for the project? Well, you know, I can't really accept other people's guns for the project for liability reasons. But if you've got an extra gun laying around you don't want, you don't need, you don't want to go the hassle of selling, or maybe you just want to help somebody else out, find somebody in need, pass it along. You know, do something good for somebody. Either a family member, a friend that you know might need a self-defense firearm, or if you don't know anybody, maybe ask your local gun shops or get on your local forums and see if there's somebody in need. Almost always somebody knows somebody in need. And once you find that person, if you don't know them, just go to the FFL, have their background check run. You know they're nice and safe and clean, and it's just like you're selling them a gun, pass it along. So there you have it. Brought another one of the, like I said, granola, crunching, sandal wearing hippies into the gun fold. If we can get more people like that are pro-gun, then we can get rid of this, you know, gotta vote Republican or gotta vote Democrat if you're pro-gun or anti-gun. We can have people that are pro-gun on both sides, and maybe we can get to where most people are pro-gun on both sides. So it's one person at a time. So I feel like I can pat myself on the back because I've done my job today of, like I said, converting one of them hippies. So if you ever get a chance to either pass along a little goodwill to someone else or just convert a hippie, more power to you. Oops.
Go ahead. It's a lady at 46 South Road. 46 South Road.
Station 1 call, retone that please. 10-4. Captain 4 to go to that location also. This is 1-9, is that correct?